Pickers. We're here for another edition of Pure Picks. I'm your host, James, and we're here to break down a best bet, lock of the week, plus odds play of the week for UFC Fight Night, Magny versus Prates. Before we do that, let's recap for UFC Edmonton from last week. Up 1.18 units, 16% ROI. You guys can look at the plays yourself, but it was good to get a positive win after few weeks of going negative. 9% ROI for the year. We started tracking for last year for November 18th, I believe. So we have a couple more events to go to get to double-digit ROI, which is what my personal goal was for this bet tracking for Bet MMA tips. And hopefully we get some positive momentum for the upswing to get there in a couple weeks. Now, for this week, I did want to go over a play that I saw that had really good value. I mean, we're coming off the Anthony Hernandez money line and over 2.5 Melissa Martinez parlay for good plus odds. So I wanted to continue that momentum for this best bet. It's going to be in the fight between Gerald Meerschaert and Reinier. Right now, we have Reinier minus 400 opening line. Now he's a minus 280. You guys already know I got to go with my man GM3 here for the plus odds. I mean, plus 240, I think that's good value for a UFC veteran who's fighting a UFC newcomer. A lot more reasons why I'm taking GM3. So Reinier, he's coming off of a KO victory in like UAE Warriors, that fight league. Before that, he fought in the One Championship for a few years, actually was the champion. But looking at the level of competition there, I mean, the last guy that he fought is actually pretty good, Antonli. But previously, I mean, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing the UFC caliber people that he was fighting that, compared to even to GM3, right? For me, what I see for De Ridder, I mean, I think that he's obviously a good grappler. I think the biggest path to victory for him actually will be similar to what Krzysztof Jotko did to GM3 when they fought. So Jotko actually took down GM3 4 times, used his range and motion to outland him on the feet as well, controlled him for 5 minutes in, kind of control time there. I think that, and obviously he 30-27 him. So I think that will be the clearest path for Reinier de Ridder. But even then, I mean, he's a very big unknown. We haven't seen this guy against UFC competition yet. I mean, Jotko, before he fought GM3, he fought in the UFC for since 2013. So I don't know if we can just automatically say that he would do as well as Jotko did. Now, people may say that when Reinier de Ridder, this guy has 11 submissions. Maybe he'll submit him. Maybe he'll ground and pound him. Looking at GM3, I mean, this guy's he's been submitted 8 times. So it's, but that was really early on in his career. A lot of those submissions in the UFC, I think he's only been submitted once, I believe. And that was against Jack Hermanson, who's another good fighter, a ranked fighter, right? We saw what he did against Joe Pyfer, fraud checked him for that fight. Other than that, I mean, he got knocked out by Ian Hench. Not great, not a great look. But Khamzat Chimaev might be the future champion. Controlled by Jotko. Got knocked out by Pyfer, who has crazy power. Petrosky, I'm going to say that was a win for him. That was a close fight. I actually scored it for GM3, so it was a close fight, but I had GM3 there. And I mean, he's just been submitting guys who have been hype trains, really. I mean, Muradov, Bruno Silva, Shabazian. Obviously, these guys aren't on the level grappler that Reinier de Ridder is. He does have some grappling skills, grappling technique. I think that he has a pretty good sub arsenal, decent takedowns. He does more so with the trips and the throws rather than just the standard kind of wrestling takedowns. But yeah, even then, I think that the striking actually will be pretty similar in this fight. I think that I actually rate GM3 a little bit better of a striker here because both of them like to box. GM3 has a really good jab, and RDR is just really unproven. So I got to go with the American here. Now, for me and what I see, I think that the biggest thing that we will have to worry about for this play is that De Ritter might just take him down and control him for the majority of the fight, because GM3 does like to work off his back, right? And he does have a 34% takedown defense, so he can get taken down. So that is a possibility. But the thing I like about GM3 is that he just won't give up unless you knock him out cold, like a couple people have, or even submit him, which only one person in the UFC has, who's Jack Hermanson. So I don't think GM3 is going to get finished in this fight. I think that the best path of victory for RDR is going to be a decision, actually. I really like GM3's ability to potentially find a submission himself off his back, because he has a more proven submission game than RDR, just in UFC level, right? This is going to be, once again, UFC debut for RDR. I tend to want to fade those kind of fighters. So give me GM3 here. Looking at the plays that I think could be good, obviously the money line is solid, plus 240. If you believe in GM3 to take off a round off the judges' scorecards, plus 100 for plus 3.5, I think is actually pretty decent as well. His inside the distance decision, no accidents, plus 225 is for more riskier play. Obviously, you can do inside the distance at plus 350. I think that opened up at plus 400, so people have been taking some action on that play. For me, I would probably just go on the money line or the plus 3.5 to be safe. I think that those are both pretty solid, but I'm leaning towards the money line right now. I think that GM3 can actually, I just believe in him enough to not get finished and not give up. Talking about giving up, I mean, if you watched his last fight, this guy literally quit against Antoli the second time. First time he got knocked out in the first round. So, you know, he probably got that rebound victory in that UAE Warriors fight a few months ago. But yeah, I mean, as a minus 280 against GM3, I think that is pretty disrespectful. I think, GM3's been fighting the UFC for like 22 times. This is going to be his 22nd fight in the UFC. We got a guy coming in, first fight in the UFC, the Dutch Knight. I mean, I'm taking the American here. Give me GM3 all day for this fight. So that about does it for my lock of the week. Going with our boy GM3. I think he's going to get it done. If you guys have a better lock of the week, let me know in the comments. Please like, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Best of luck with everybody's plays this week. For next week, I'm definitely going to have a full card breakdown for the pay-per-view. Return of the GOAT, John Jones, my favorite fighter. So I got to break that down. But yeah, other than that, guys, best of luck. We're out.